Christian values and the rule of law. Spiritual values, which are biblically sound values, they never change. And the Constitution doesn't change. So you have two documents that you can work with and you can stand on, and you will never fail. I've been on the Constitution from its inception. It has never failed me yet, and it won't fail because why? It's the supreme law of the land. It is always final. It is not secondary to any law. Article 2 says any other law which is inconsistent with this constitution shall prevail, and the other law, to the extent of its inconsistency, shall be null and void. Just as simple as that. It has no value. It has no status at all. But some things are happening in the Commonwealth of Bahamas. I'm going to let my special guest bring us up to date on that. He has it right at his fingertips. The information is credible. It is accurate. It is precise. We would not bring it to you if we did not believe in the source. So you'll be hearing it for the first time on this show. But let me just say this. Bahamians, we have to be ready and prepared for any eventuality that may happen. I gave an example. I think I mentioned it on the show. When I came home, my sister told me about something. I just got in the house and then she called me and I had to act on an emergency of the family right away. I was going to do some other things and I said I had to stop everything. You're going to find, Bahamians, that certain emergencies are going to occur that you're going to have to drop everything that you're doing and deal with it right away. Why? Because your life is going to be on the line. Let me warn you about that. Because some of you are still not sure about certain things that are going to happen in this country. Very challenging things. Things that our mothers and fathers didn't go through. We have to go through it, Bahamians. You know, this is our 51st year as an independent nation, and I want you to get ready to celebrate the 51st anniversary of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We must not forget that, even if we do it in our local settings, in our local communities, among our family members, and you should do it. I'm going to be involved in it myself. The point is that we must not forget the founding of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and what our forefathers did. Someone on the show yesterday tried to dish this the fathers and mothers of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and I was not prepared to allow that to happen by giving false information. It is very unfortunate that there are those out there who are trying to rewrite the history. I lived it. I went through it, Bahamians. My mother and father were the last generation to feel the full fury of wickedness and corruption from a government that didn't care about the Bahamian people. Let me just make that clear to you. I came in on the tail end, but my mother and father went through the full brunt of what we as Bahamians do not seem to understand, the kind of sacrifices that generation put down for us to enjoy what we have today. And so we have to teach the truth as it is, the hard work, what it took the founding fathers and mothers, the green paper, the white paper, the discussions that were held, the role of the church, the role of the individual families at that time, and even the young people of the country participated in bringing about the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. These facts are real, and I lived through it, experienced it. And there are those in the family islands who experienced some other things. But nevertheless, we are still one nation, one people. There was a time when one island decided they wanted to break away. Of course, that was not going to happen. That ain't going to happen today either, so they might as well put that to sleep. One family of islands, one Commonwealth of the Bahamas, one flag. And there are some people who want to put two flags. How could you have two flags in one nation? But we are one nation, Bahamians. One Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And we have to get that in our psyche. because we are going to be challenged very, very seriously. Now, some of you don't understand how serious it is. But I'm going to tell you, you have to be made ready and prepared for whatever comes our way. And the challenges are going to be very tough. And it's going to be rough, Bahamians. I don't want to mislead you on anything because I see it coming. And I know it's coming. I'm aware of some things that you may not even be aware of. But Bahamians, we have to trust in God. See, that's one thing we have. We have God to depend on. We don't have to listen to all the gossip, all the rumor, all the hearsay, all the naysayers in our country who are trying to discourage and mislead the Bahamian people into thinking that there's no hope for them. Bahamians, there is hope for you. I heard Berenice on another show talking about hope for the average Bahamian. She's a very strong person when it comes to that. And there were some who were trying to bury what she was trying to say. She's working very hard to help the average Bahamian. She lives among the average Bahamian. She feels what they feel. And at one point, I didn't even understand what Berenice was talking about. But I'm beginning to understand a little bit more of what she was trying to say. And she's working on that, and some others are working on some things because Bahamians, we're going to have a better country, a better future. But it takes hard work. It is not going to be easy. We've been through 51 years, July the 10th coming up, 51 years as an independent nation. And let us not throw stones at our parents, our mothers and fathers. Let's show respect to them. Let's not denigrate them. I don't like that, Bahamians. What they did is what they did. We're to build on what they did. Some of you want to criticize our mothers and fathers who did the best they possibly could under some very trying and difficult circumstances. And even when we were becoming an independent nation, there were those who tried to divide the Bahamian masses. In that short span of time, from January the 10th, 1967, to July the 10th, 1973, they tried to divide the Bahamian people by saying, independence not now. But when you're supposed to get it? We wouldn't have been an independent nation if we'd listened to the foolishness they were talking about. And there are you who are saying we're not independent. We're a sovereign independent state. That's in the Constitution. We are a constitutional monarchy, and there are some who are practicing to think we're a republic. We're not no republic. But some of our leaders today think that they have a right to take the Bahamian people in a different direction from the Constitution. But that ain't going to happen. That's going to be smashed, Bahamians. You could rest assured on that. Nothing trumps the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. So they're going to come to a rude awakening. It's only a matter of time, you know. Sometime God allows some things to happen to wake us up for the serious times yet ahead. And let me tell you, Bahamians, it is going to be tough. So prepare for tough days ahead, because that's what's going to have to happen. We've allowed things to drag on for so long, and you got those who are going to fight you and think they should keep you in slavery when the Constitution says no man, woman, or child shall ever be slave or bondsman to anyone. They're going to say, no, we're going to make you a slave. We've got to see what is happening, Bahamians. We need economic salvation. We ain't reached there yet, you know. That's the next big major step in the Bahamas, which need to be achieved for the masses. That is coming, Bahamians. We're going to get plenty of that in abundance. You'll be surprised to know how that's going to come about. But God is working things out for us, Bahamians. You got to keep trusting in God. And God is going to raise up qualified people You may not know who all they are. I personally may not know who all they are. I know of some who is working with. And you're going to see that happen, Bahamians. We need economic salvation in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That's what Berenice was talking about. She didn't say it in those specific terms, but I know what she meant. No family in the Bahamas should be living in poverty. None. Absolutely none, Bahamians. And there is a reason for that. So I know some of you may think it hard, boy, I can't pay this light bill today. I can't pay this water bill today. I can't do this. I got to cut back on the grocery bill. Yes, Bahamians, even with the light. See what these fellas doing with the light? BPL, Bahamas Power and Light, they formed some other companies. How many other companies we can get? BEC, what happened to BEC? When it was run by Bahamians, my power was there. And we always had light when we had BEC on Bay Street. My pa used to work there. He put in more than 40-something years. And then my brother came after him and put in more than 40-something years. Then my other brother came after him and put in some 30 years. That's over 100 years, Bahamians. Of one family. And then my nephew, well, he's still there. Well, he is aggressive as his pa and his grandpa. But the thing is that the Thompson family put in more than 100 years. 100 years plus of solid commitment to BEC, BPL as it's called now. And now I'm hearing all kinds of funny things.
What is it going to be called after this agreement?
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. We can find out what that is all about.
What are they going to name it after this agreement?
Well, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Because some funny things have been happening. And that is why I'm saying to the Bahamian people, prepare yourselves now to take action. Now, remember, you have to be constitutionally sound. And if you don't know how to do that, you know just who to call, Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson, who will give you solid guidance to make sure you are constitutionally sound, because there are some who will try to trip you over and give you all kind of crappy things and put pieces of paper in front of you and think, this is what you should do. No. We ain't going with that no more. We're going to get our economic salvation. And we're going to pull the Bahamian people out of the doldrums they're experiencing right now today. There is hope for us Bahamians, so do not give up hope. Keep your trust in God. If you keep trusting God, he will deliver you. He said, deliver you out of all your, he didn't say some now. The book tell me all your troubles. I didn't say you ain't going to go through no trouble. We're going to go through some waters. We're going to go through some deep waters. May even run over your head and all. But he said, I will be with you. He ain't give up on us yet. We have some great work to do, and you need to know and understand what it is you need to do. You got to stop listening to this foolishness that some people are putting out there to lie to you, to mislead you, to deceive you. Let me stop right now and bring Brother Hyla in. Brother Hyla, welcome to Global Radio 99.5 FM. Because see, you mind me, I'll talk till Christ come back, so I got to stop. I know you have some breaking news, and we'll let you settle yourself down. And you're going to explain that to the Bahamian people, because the source is very accurate and precise.
Wow.
Go ahead, Brother Hyla.
Well, good day, Sir Sidney.
Yes, sir.
And good day, Bahamas. This one is difficult. Let me just get right to it. This I am troubled. At a higher level, what is being reported. I went to 2 local newspapers today to find out if anybody is reporting on this, if anybody knows about this. And there's been no report. But inside this week, let me go ahead and say what is being reported out of Florida.
Yes.
And out of New York even.
Yes.
Related to immigration and migration.
Yes.
In the Bahamas. Okay. So it is being reported that the U.S. Coast Guard has intercepted 305 migrants at sea, the U.S. Coast Guard, under Operation Vigilant Sentry. It's not a brand new operation, but the point is this. They're repatriating. Let me make sure I get the correct word usage here. Well, they're returning migrants to the Bahamas and to Haiti as well. But they are returning migrants to the Bahamas. The U.S. Coast Guard intercepting on the Florida border, intercepting individuals that make it as far as the Florida coast.
Yes.
And returning them to the Bahamas. So now we're going to have a flow of migrants from the north now, as well as from the south.
Yes.
And history shows us, thank God there was no loss of life reported. There's no loss of life reported. That's this week. That's we're talking about 48 hours. I got concerned because I heard nothing reported in any newspaper or news outlet or radio station.
Yes.
So the first time I'm hearing this is actually while I'm saying it right now.
Okay.
And that should not be.
No, it shouldn't.
And Homeland Security, along with the Coast Guard, they have a task force. They're under a mandate now to continue to patrol land, sea, and air to repatriate anyone attempting to enter the U.S. unlawfully by sea.
Okay.
That's in this report. Now, the Bahamas is not doing that, but America is doing it. This report, over this last 48-hour period, this report is being, reported, like I said, in Florida, in New York by the New York Post, and in Jamaica by the Jamaica Observer.
Okay.
My spirit man is saying, everyone watching us do fool.
Yes.
That's what the older people would call this. You're doing fool or folly or foolish. There's so many questions on this. I wouldn't even dig too deeply or too quickly into it. How would you determine at sea who was a Bahamian citizen?
Exactly.
You got a fingerprint machine? They carrying the Constitution on them. How would you determine who is who?
Yes.
And who to take where?
Yes, that's a good question. Excellent question.
Is it by documentation they may have on them?
Good question.
Have these individuals even ever set foot on Bahamian soil?
Okay.
That has to be determined.
Yes.
I say to the Nassau Guardian, inquire and find out. I say to the Tribune, inquire, find out what is happening.
Yes.
I say to National Security and Immigration, protect the sovereignty of the Bahamas.
Yes, that's correct. That is important.
That is your job. But it's like the Bahamian people, it's like we are sleeping with the doors open.
Wide open, yes.
This report caused me to think while I was on the way, because I was not scheduled to be here, but I told you about the breaking news. You asked me to come forward.
Yes, I did.
All I'm saying is, it's like we sleeping with the back door open, and now the front door is also
wide
open.
open, right.
Okay.
Brother Hyde, just hold on a moment. I think we got a call on the line. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
I need that all governments are so shady. I wouldn't be surprised if this government has entered into a deal with the United States government to accept some of these people. I mean, we are so shady in this country.
Yes, ma'am.
It's so sad. You look in the papers and you see the amount of persons that are being naturalized.
Yes.
Every day, the numbers. Where are these people coming from?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's increasing, caller. It's
and
increasing.
The numbers are increasing. You're correct.
It's increasing.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, the only answer to this problem is to get rid of that man who is the only man who could be foreign affairs in this Minister of Foreign Affairs in this country.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, caller, I put it to the public We could get rid of him, but where is the opposition to these
They're just
actions?
alike. They all cut from the same cloth.
Well, that's the whole point.
That's
They
the
all,
whole point,
they
yes,
all
that's correct.
in cahoots.
Cut from the same cloth. That's what you said.
This
Same
is ridiculous. No other country in this region
Is behaving
is behaving the way we are
The
behaving.
front door and the back door.
The front door, the back door. So Sydney, like the windows open
I believe the
with no
window's open.
screen
Yeah.
and no security bar.
I believe the window's open.
Yes, yes.
This is
This Bahamas
ridiculous.
is gone.
Caller, listen to what comes out of this report. That's only one boat. That's only one boat. They're saying that multiple attempts and multiple operations over the last week. That's 7 days.
Okay.
So you could easily multiply that number by 3.
Yeah.
Right. And you notice we don't hear anything about repatriation
No,
exercises
none at all.
from this
Not
government.
one.
They may say talk about 1 or 2 just to appease
Mm-hmm.
us, but you don't hear about them. That's because there's no exercise going on.
No repatriation.
No
That is
repatriation
correct, yes.
going on.
That is correct.
Our efforts are decreasing and the numbers are increasing
Increasing.
of those.
They're coming into the
It's
country.
being,
Yes,
I
we
read,
will soon be a lost people. A lost people.
I read somewhere over 30,000 in one particular country left since April alone.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean,
In 3 months.
You go in the mall, all you can hear is Creole. You go in the food store, you can hear is Creole.
Yes, ma'am.
It's annoying.
Caller, that's an estimated 10,000 per month. That's just an estimate. That's just one modest estimate. They really don't know.
No, they don't.
And it's not a question of love. It's not, I mean, it's not a question of being a humanitarian.
No, not at all.
Let us all be equally humanitarian and let us all do the same action
Yeah.
and stop this thing with the Bahamas needs to do this
Yes.
for Haiti. We love
I think
Haiti. These are our cousins.
We've
We
done
love
more
Haiti.
than enough. We've
We-
done more than our share.
Yes,
Okay.
we have.
Okay.
I mean, every time you fix Haiti, they're back in the same situation. I mean, it does not make any sense. The
They-
Haitians need to get up and solve their own problem.
Well, now you have some of them saying they want to do that, and they can do that. They can take the lead right now. We don't have to. They don't have to wait for anybody to tell them to do it. They can do it right now. But remember, now they got their independence in 1804, and all we have to look at the track record of what has happened in Haiti from that time up to now, and conditions have not improved whatsoever. It has gotten worse. But we cannot take on the burden of Haiti. We just cannot. It's too much to bear. We got enough of our own. I think the caller is gone.
Yes. Well, just to repeat, Sir Sydney,
Yes, sir.
this is not a brand new operation by
No, it's not.
by the U.S. government,
It's not.
but clearly it has been heightened.
It's heightened, yes.
It has been heightened. Operation Vigilant Sentry.
Yes.
Vigilant means to keep a careful watch. I just took a quick look and wrote
that
it
is
wrote it
correct.
down. To
Yes.
keep a careful look. A sentry is a soldier, so you might as well say Operation Vigilant Soldier.
Soldier, yes. That's correct.
A sentry is a soldier that is assigned to watch over a border or an entrance gate.
Yes. Mr. Bruce, we have another call on the line, right? Okay, all right, okay.
So
That's
Sydney,
fine.
this is very unsettling to me. I
No,
don't know
it
if
is
it's
very
unsettling to
unsettling.
anybody else,
I think it is.
but I assure you, it's interesting. This
I
would
think
happen
it is.
on a Saturday, on a
Friday,
Friday,
yeah.
going into
Into
a
a
Saturday,
Saturday
because
weekend,
I can assure you, so Sydney, I made my way, like I said, to the 2 daily newspapers,
Yes,
and
you did.
I will be visiting them
Yes.
in person to determine whether or not we're going to let the Bahamian people know what is happening as it happens.
We ought to know
You can't let Florida report what's happening
what's
in the
happening
Bahamas.
In the Bahamas. And none of our people are here. I believe we have a call on the
Yes,
line.
and we can't allow New York to report on what's happening in the Bahamas.
Isn't that
Yes.
interesting? What happened to our national reporters
Okay.
here? Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please. Caller, you there? I'm not hearing the caller. Okay. The point is, if we are waiting for people outside of our country, see, we are not up to date on a lot of things that is happening in our country. And this is where our reporters, our news gathering people, our radio stations, our television stations have to be on the ball, people in the family islands. And that is why I keep saying to those family island people, We need to make contact with each other. We cannot continue to be separate like this. Things are happening all over the country. Things are happening in Andros. Things are happening in Abaco. Things are happening in Grand Bahama, in some of these remote areas of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And some of you have the information, but you say nothing about it. You just allow it to slide. Famous, that's not the way to keep a country. We have to be vigilant. Operation Vigilante. We have to be vigilant in our actions, Bahamians, so that we can be aware and report as accurately as we possibly can what is going on in this country. Do not wait for certain people to do it, because we already see a track record. Bahamians, it is time that we organize ourselves for action. That is very important. We have to do that. There's a lot of work to be done. We can't just keep sitting and waiting and sitting and waiting and sitting and waiting, as we've been doing for the last 50 years and almost 51 years. That's not going to work at all. There are too many things that are happening in this country that we are not aware of. We're allowing the foreign people to tell us what's happening in our country. That means our news people are falling down. That means our reporters are falling down. That means our radio and TV stations are falling down. We got to be alert. We have to give the signal, Bahamian. That's why I asked Brother Hyler to come in, because I thought the information to be extremely important. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Mr. Thompson.
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
Good day to you and your guest.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Good day.
And the Bahamas.
Yes.
Good day.
But
Good day.
it saddens me to hear the news that, like he said, that other countries have to bring out to the light in order for Bahamians to know
To
about
know
it.
what's going on. Yeah, that
Yes,
is a
sir.
sad indictment against us.
Yeah, and I have a few indictments I want to throw out there.
Yes,
but
sir.
for one, right, we did a plenty complaining and whatsoever, requesting for them to break down these shanty towns, right?
Yes.
And what worries me is that they're not getting rid of these people or making sure everybody is naturalized or whatever they call it and legal to be here. And
You
what's
can't make them
happening is,
legal. In no
even though
way.
we want the shanty towns down, what is happening is these people are coming out of these shanty towns and then entwining themselves into our communities
Yes.
with their old ways.
Yes, that is
And
correct.
so that's a serious problem that we have to look out for.
No, we have to. Yes.
And so I don't know what we could do about it, but I'm just listening, and I want y'all to think about that, because we asking for these towns to be broken down, but nobody is doing nothing about the people who were living there.
Oh, living there. Yeah, you're quite right about that. That's a good point that you raised, and we're gonna open up. We're gonna discuss that further in the show.
All right.
But
So,
thank you for your.
I'll continue with a good show.
Yeah, thank you very much. Now he
Yeah, man,
raised
thank you.
a very important point. Let's jump on that right now,
Mhm.
because I haven't heard the minister. Who is the minister for this thing, the shanty town thing? The minister of works, I think, Mr. Clay Sweeting. I listened to some remarks he made in the House. Never once did he mention repatriation. I heard him talk about the danger that these people are causing to us. We haven't heard about any roundup of these illegal aliens in the country. None whatsoever. He's telling them to move out of these places and to go into these other communities. So that means they carry their bad ways from the shanty town into the community. And they just absorb themselves in and carry on the same way they've always carried on, because they haven't changed. That doesn't make your country any better. We have to remove illegal aliens out of the country. There has to be a mass exodus of illegal aliens out of the country. That's what we have to start doing. We need a national government that is prepared to do that, Bahamians. And we got to make sure that that happens. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. We'll be back after this break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this. Whether you're shopping for Mother's Day, Father's Day, back to school, or any occasion for that matter, you are sure to find exactly what you're looking for at the Brass and Leather Shops. Great products like handbags, wallets, backpacks, luggage, belts, shoes, and more are awaiting you. Brand names at the best quality and reasonable prices. Land, Rioni, Kipling, Guess, Travel Life, Herschel, and more. Shop any of our locations. Downtown Charlotte Street, Mall at Marathon, and also the Luggage Store at Palmdale. Be sure to shop Brass and Leather Shops. You'll be glad you
Great
did.
news! Ron's Electric Motors' new location on Cowpen Road, right next to Island Luck, is open Saturdays and Sundays. So for those needing repairs on electric motors, generators, welding machines, water pumps, battery chargers, electric lifts, transformers, and power tools, Ron's Cowpen Road location can have you up and running on weekends. Don't forget, you can still visit Ron's Electric Motors on Wolf Road and Claridge Road, and now Ron's new location on Cowpen Road. Dial 356-0249 or 323-5267.
First stop. You mean bus stop, eh, mom?
Well, I have to stop at Bahamas Liquidation first to see if they got what I need. They get the best price in town on the snacks for the churn and vendors and all type of groceries, like your favorite cereal, the cheapest tuna, and them same fruit snacks the churn like eat.
So you mean just like any grocery store?
No, man, they even better. But just remember though, they don't stock items, they only buy deals. So you better get there first.
Ron, hey, I coming back, guys. Let me dash in the Bahamas Liquidation first. Sean, let me grab my bag. I coming now.
Man, look like
let's ride, bro. You're still in the bus, eh?
Bahamas Liquidation Auction Center, start on Chesapeake Road. Call us at 698-0123 or WhatsApp 557-2522. Or follow us on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates. Say hello to goodbyes when you make us your first stop.
From South Beach to Bay Street.
I'm pleased, I really dig your company.
It's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. This is a great day to be in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We have some serious challenges, Bahamians, that we have to deal with. And as we close out our 51st year, or coming toward the end of it, we're seeing more and more things happening, more challenges that confront the Bahamian people. I believe we have a call on the line. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
Brother Sid,
Hey, what you say, man?
man on the radio.
Yes, sir.
Since the day is the last day in your Father's Day is Sunday.
Yeah, Father's Day is on Sunday, yes.
Well, you know, this Father's Day, I don't go along with the system because I have to know these fathers who they are.
I agree with you. I want to know them too.
According to the Bible says, if a man do not take care of his house,
Yes.
he is like an infidel, and especially those of the household
Hall
of
of
faith.
faith, yes. I want all them bishops who got all them children, bring them to church and show them to the people.
You going with the system, with the world system, calling everybody Happy Father's Day, and somebody's man don't even take care of the wife, don't take care of the children.
Yeah, that's correct.
And you still strengthening them.
Yeah,
See,
okay.
we supposed as a church have this thing backwards.
Yes, sir.
They're supposed to know what they are saying.
Yes, that's correct.
You see? And I'm glad for Miss Colby.
Yes.
Miss Colby is doing a good job. The BTT,
Okay.
the BEC. And if anybody else have any other plan or any other suggestion that they could make a change, then let them change it.
Yes.
That's all. But right now, you need a solution, and everybody is talking,
Yes.
but nobody can come up with a plan. Mr. Pentad can't come up with a good plan. He's going over the same old thing.
Yes.
Why don't they say, okay, if we get in power, we will revise what this PLP is doing. We will fix and change it.
Yes.
Or let the people purchase their own power.
Okay.
In other words, like how England do. You buy $100 or $200 worth of power for that month, what you could think you can use, and then
this problem will be solved. Just make some major step in this country, man,
Yes,
and
sir.
stop having a mice brains and take some elephant stop,
Yes.
and we will see some changes in this country. We cannot keep on going with the same old way between the FNM and the PLP, the same old way again. This one, because this one can fix it, this one don't want this one fix it. They want to control it.
Yeah.
Why the Penda don't talk about when the man sell BTC? Why he don't touch on when the big Indian man in Freeport, they signed
Obama.
the false, let the fake man sign the document.
Yes.
These people believe him and really fool, you know.
That's the Oban document.
My last point is,
Yeah.
I see the minister knocked down, he say, over 500
Okay.
shanty town. All says, all of those other people being there. Nobody knocked down nothing. They was afraid. This man come there. I try to figure out how come this man could just come here, and just tell them go, knock it down, and the people them do it. So what happened to all the Alfred says them and the rest of those ministers there, man? I want you to tell me that, please. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is very interesting. Brother Halley, you want to answer that? He asked the question about the former ministers. I think the former ministers did nothing to deal with this grave issue on immigration and citizenship.
I agree.
In fact, the prime minister said that this minister didn't do anything wrong, and we know that's not true at all. The minister was wrong, the cabinet was wrong, the government was wrong, the House of Assembly was wrong, the Senate was wrong. All of them were wrong. We can prove that constitutionally. And the Constitution says in Article 2, any other law that is inconsistent with this Constitution shall prevail, and the other law, to the extent of its inconsistency, is null and void. See all this foolishness they have here, all these people they have who they are trying to make citizens with scraps of paper. That's all illegal. It's contrary to the Constitution.
Well, they said they have 300,000
300,000
applications.
applicants, yeah. Where did they come from?
300,000
300,000 applications for what?
For citizenship.
For citizenship.
Yeah, 300. Yeah, that's on the books. That's what was reported.
We have to put a hold on citizenship applications.
Yeah, but you said it so quietly and so subtly. So Sydney, we have a caller. We have a caller
on the line. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, hi, Professor.
Hello, how are you?
I have 3 points to make.
Yes, ma'am.
First one is, like Mr. Hilo was saying, there's no repatriations.
Yes.
We haven't heard of any repatriations, I think, since January.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, all of these people are coming in. You know what my problem is? In every country, you allow so many people into your country per year.
Yes.
You have to have a cutoff period.
Yes, ma'am.
And as small as the Bahamas is, we don't have a cutoff period because every day you look in the newspaper, 10 to 15 people, 7 days a week, basically. Our country cannot afford this.
Yes, ma'am.
And right now, the Bahamian people, we are so stressed out.
Yes.
Because nothing is working in this country for us as Bahamians. Nothing. And furthermore, if we don't get Mr. Davis and Fred Mitchell out of this House of Assembly, we're going to be worse than Haiti.
Yes, ma'am.
Because truly they are coming to take over. Not only them, you got the Chinese, you got the Indians, you got the Africans, the Jamaicans. These people come from countries who have independence way before the Bahamas was independent. So how is it that they could even get our citizenship?
That's good. Question.
And now when you look at Grand Bahama and the selling of the international bazaar, here comes the Africans.
Yes.
We had the first flight from Ethiopia
That's what I
touchdown in the
heard.
Bahamas. Oh, that's big news as far as Brave Davis is concerned.
Yes.
But for us Bahamians, we don't care for them to come. We have enough problems in this country,
Yes, we
and
do.
everybody's buying up our land.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
nothing has been preserved and put aside for Bahamians.
Yes, ma'am.
We can't get no property in our country. They're priced us out. Our Constitution says we are the inheritors
Yes.
of this land.
That is
That
correct.
belongs to us.
Yes, ma'am.
And you know what happened, Professor, with the selling of Badelco, now the selling of the power plant. We have already sold all our ports.
Yes,
When
ma'am.
you don't have control of your airport, your seaport, and your power grid, your country belongs to another man.
Yes, ma'am.
They can determine who come in and who
comes
go out.
They go out. Yes, ma'am.
We're selling everything that belongs to the Bahamian people. Brave is ready to give away our power company, which we own 100%. And he said we're going to get 40%,
40%.
and these other people going to get 60%.
That's what he said.
How does that make sense?
No, it makes no sense.
And then
at
you
all.
got Bahamians hollering and jumping up PLP and F&M. It's ridiculous.
Yes, ma'am.
It's Bahamians, and it's us saving our country. This isn't about politics now. We need to get these people out of office as soon as possible because we will not have a country as long as Brave is in power. What do you tell the Haitians? I am you and you are me. He is from that side of the fence, and he is showing us that every day. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your comments. The lady made some very excellent comments. And this is why I am saying, and I can reiterate what I said earlier, for strong constitutional action by the Bahamian people. Bahamians, we cannot continue to sit and allow the government of the Bahamas to continue to behave in the way it's going right now. You have to stop them. Otherwise, we won't have a country. That's the position we're in now. You have to be prepared for the fight of your life if we're going to preserve this place. You can't take anything lightly because these people are very gung-ho and serious, consistently, day in and day out, in your face. Because they believe they could get away with it, Bahamians. But we have to stop them.
Well, so far we've been letting them get away with it, Professor.
We have been letting them get away with it, and I agree with you. And that is why I am saying to the Bahamian people, it takes Article 24.1, where there has to be organization, where people have to understand what the real issues are and be well organized for action. That's what you have to do. You have to be first educated.
Educated.
That's the first thing. About this BPL, about the citizenship issue,
Right.
about the immigration issue, about other things that are happening in this country, agreements that have been signed, which have not been made public. The public does not even know about these things.
No consultation.
No consultation with the Bahamian people. All of these things have to be exposed, Bahamian.
No consultation with the managers of the company.
Of the company, that is correct.
No
Yes.
consultation with the line staff.
Yes.
In the
and
case
the
of
management
BPL.
Case, the BPL, yes, and the management there as well. And there are some other problems with other unions. See, even with the unions, people are wondering, well, how strong are the union leaders? But the leaders can only be as strong as the members support and back your union leaders. The strength comes from the members. The strength comes from the community, the constituencies where the people live. That's where the real power is. It has always been that way. We're not organized to use it effectively and properly. That's our big problem.
Well, leadership is powerful too. I mean, it's difficult not to step on any toes, but you have to say things the way it is.
Where they are, yes.
Yeah, the buck stops or where responsibility lies. All leadership, whether it's
Yes.
on the government side, whether it's on the union side, because I am still waiting to see. And it's one of the things that caused me to come forward, Professor. And it's
Yes,
not,
sir.
I don't come forward to, present a specific plan of action.
Yes.
It's to come together and work as a team.
I think that is what is very important right now. The Bahamian people need to be organized, coming together, looking at these issues, discussing these issues, and then at some point making a determination as to what course of action ought to be taken, guided by our Constitution and the Holy Bible. Don't leave those two out now, because you'll be in the midst of the ocean and being pushed to and fro without any help. You don't want to get into that position. That's why I am saying to the people, even though we have a government that is not acting in the best interest of the Bahamian people, we've seen the evidence of that. We got 51 years to prove it. How much more time you want to give them? How much more time, Bahamians? You want to just sit right here and allow the government of the Bahamas to continue to do what it is doing. We have allowed them to do it. We have to stop them. The same way we allow them, we stop them.
Right.
And we can stop them because the Constitution empowers to do so. That's why you need to be highly organized, so that whatever action you take, it is an effective, strong, constitutional action in the best interest of the Bahamian people.
Right.
We have to handle this ourselves, because the people who you put there, who we have put there, let me put the we in it now, because I'm a part of it too. We have put there are not acting in our best interest. We see it every living day of our lives.
Right.
It's not happening.
Well, let me put two things forward that I believe I may have covered this before, coming on the show in the past. But, in the legal profession, for example, if you are trained in the law and you see the law being abused, where are the lawyers that are interested in standing up for right?
That's a good question.
Where are the lawyers that are not just going to point out the wrongs or the ills, but are prepared to take action?
Take action, yes. That's what we need to do.
Those that have the ability, those that have the training, those that have the moral compass, those that have the integrity. Come back to that.
Okay.
That is what it's going to take, and then we have to come together. I'm still looking for it. In the case of freedom of information. Who we keep saying, well, we need it. They won't give it to us. So, we're educating the people. Freedom of information is just as the name implies. Any information regarding government activity or deals or agreements, all to be made public. What's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with it.
That's transparency. That's accountability, which we keep saying those are the two pillars of good governance. That's where it begins. Transparency. So we have consistent shadiness. No transparency. And we still keep pressing on.
Accountability.
Listen, the tens of thousands of people that jumping up around people who wouldn't tell you what they're doing.
That's right.
In your business.
Wow.
10, 20,000. Bring the pom-poms, bring the regalia, bring the paraphernalia, bring the colors, bring the red, bring the yellow.
That's no good for the Bahamian people. We have already proven that. That's just some little excitement that people give you. What's going to happen after the excitement is over?
Listen, what's so shocking? We established a sovereign wealth fund. And then the government cancel it.
That's
well,
correct.
If that don't wake you up, if that don't tell you this person don't mean me no good.
Well, let's even go further than that.
Okay.
You have today, every single day, you see people who saying they want to be naturalized. There's nothing in the Constitution that allows the government to naturalize anybody. Naturalization stopped July of 1974.
Okay. So what happened to residency? Why they skip over that?
The point is they want to make these people who do not qualify citizens of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. I got to ask them. They got to tell us why. They haven't told us why. And in fact, since we know it's not constitutionally sound, it is incumbent upon us to stop the government from going in this direction.
What are they getting out of it?
Now, they have to answer that one. But I know it's not beneficial for the Bahamian people. I could say that much.
I hear you. Well, I respect the fact that you remain hardline on the Constitution.
But I have to stick with the Constitution. The Constitution has never failed me from day one.
Well, it makes me wonder, Professor. We don't want to cast any aspersions. That's their parliamentary language, right?
All we have to do is watch what they say. Listen to what they say. And watch what they do.
But watch what they do.
But that's all we have to do.
But it make me wonder.
Their behavior by constantly adding more and more people to something that is not constitutionally sound tells you the kind of people you have running your country, that they're not fit to run anything.
But why don't they have our best interests at heart?
Good question.
What's wrong with the Bahamian thing?
I think the Bahamian people have to demand that that's what they're going to get, or take it by force. Some things you got to take by force.
Well, that's above my pay grade. I can't really respond to that.
Well, I'll put it this way. Once it is constitutionally sound, and you act on what is constitutionally sound, that's the right way to go.
Okay.
Some things you have to take by force. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Could it be, Professor?
Yes.
That they want more people here because it's more tax money. It's a false sense of growth.
I'll put it this way.
Is it a money thing?
I'll put it this way.
Are they selling us out?
Well, you can see by the evidence that they're adding more and more people to this list, of this voter registration list. That's a fact of life.
But they so calmly say they have 300,000 applications.
300,000.
They know we only have 300,000 people.
Yeah, so we should do with all these.
Maybe up to 400,000 people.
Yes. And so the thing is that we have to look at that very seriously, because that is not in our best interest. You have to put a hold on applications for citizenship, because we are so...
You're saying that, but they're not doing that.
No, they're not doing it. That's why I am saying one or two things.
Yes.
Either we're going to take some unusual action, which we can take, and show the government we mean business, or we decide to allow them to continue doing the crap they're doing right now. See, we have options. See, the thing is, I want the Bahamian people to understand, we have a very strong constitution.
Oh, okay. Now, 80 years, over 21 constitutions, they've written over their history.
No, that's them. That's different from us.
We only have one, though, Professor.
No, but we only need one.
Okay.
And it has served us well. But what we do have are people in office who do not respect the Constitution. That's the real crux of the problem. You have people running your country, running it under the ground, that do not respect the Constitution. I got to deal with that group.
And they don't respect the Bahamian people.
Well, of course they don't respect the Bahamian people.
You know, my mind.
That's the harsh reality we have to face.
Listen.
The very people, hold on,
okay,
Isla,
go ahead.
The very people we gave authority to run this place are the very people who are running it under the ground, right in front of your face.
And with a very, I would call it hostile and aggressive attitude with it. The reason, you know who my mind is on right now?
Yes.
My mind goes to Belinda Wilson, right? And as a union leader, some people like her, some people don't like her. I noticed that like Bahamian women don't like aggressive or assertive, women leaders, because you calm yourself, I mean, they have to speak for themselves, but I'm just going to give the example. A woman like Belinda Wilson is provoked and she is fighting. She has a job, she's fighting. But when she has any type of attitude, she doesn't get the public support. She may get the union support. Because let me tell you why I bring it up that way.
Okay.
When Yuri Kemp was aggressively approached by our financial secretary, Simon Wilson, see, it made big news. It made big news. Mr. Yuri Kemp, on the video, went viral, and all the news outlets published it. Okay. This is bad. The president of the press club, I believe it's Mr. Capron, came out on, I think it's like last week, Monday.
Yes.
Came out in support of Mr. Yuri Kemp
Yes.
to say, hold on now. Did somebody say we're going to ban a reporter? He cannot come back to the office of the prime minister? Wait just a minute now. That's the people's property.
Yes.
And here is an agent indirectly serving the people by bringing information forward.
Mhm.
And you can say the man can't come back on the property. What happened to freedom of assembly? That's Article 24, Professor.
Freedom of assembly is still intact.
Still intact.
Yes. See, what people need to understand is this. The wicked behavior of civil servants or even the government does not change the Constitution. That's what people need to understand, because what they're doing is not constitutionally sound, and we can fight it.
See, but what I'm remarking on, because I understand your point and I agree.
Yes.
What I'm remarking on is when the Constitution is violated by these
Yes,
persons.
the Constitution, and that is where Article 24(1) comes in.
The people,
no, they're not responding effectively. I agree with that.
Wow.
But that does not negate the Constitution because of what the government is doing that is wrong. And they are saying they did nothing wrong.
But let me be specific for the Bahamian people. You have a union leader come to the office of the prime minister, sits and waits about half an hour on a meeting related to the pension, of all things, the pension. And she said when they came to the office, it is reported, she reportedly stated that nobody seemed to even know about the meeting. I was almost stuck right there, Professor. She said she went to the office of the prime minister, said that they, along with other unions, multiple unions, came forward for a meeting, and it was running late. So when it finally was about to begin, and Mr. Simon Wilson started to begin the meeting, so Ms. Wilson said, she spoke up and said, Mr. Wilson, how about an apology? Because we running kind of late. She is reporting that he said, I don't have to give you all no apology.
Yeah, that's arrogancy if that happened.
You're so stupid. And then she said, because I was like, oh man, that's terrible. In the room full of people, she's reporting that he took off his jacket, come around the podium where he was speaking, and start to walk towards her, Belinda Wilson, in an aggressive fashion, to the point where somebody else in the room had to say, if you touch her, we will flatten you.
Yeah, and that is the kind of thing that you have.
Wow.
When carnal nature raises its ugly head. All right? People become very irresponsible in what they say and in what they do. I think what we need to do is put more effort into solving the problem. I think too much effort is put into expounding on a particular issue or repeating a particular issue. And instead of saying, what is it we can do to change this kind of crap that's going on in our country? See, that is where the emphasis needs to be put. If the government of the Bahamas is wrong, and they are, what is it we're going to do to stop them? We don't hear too much about that, Mr. Hyler.
No.
So that is where the conversation ought to be. What is it you're prepared to do? Because the government is dead wrong. No ifs, no ands, no buts about that.
Well, I call on Women United to come forward and speak up and say that these type of behavior towards women are unacceptable. I call upon Civil, the Caribbean Women in Leadership. I call upon you to come forward and state that these behaviors are unacceptable, because our government also has a mandate to improve the way we treat women and children. That's a part of the mandate.
Right. Okay. I think we're going to go to a break
Yes.
now because the music is on. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break.
Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
We're back. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. We've been having a very interesting discussion off air. And that means a lot of things are happening. And I believe I am concerned about comments that have been made by others. And you have a right to express your view. But we've got to get to the point where we're going to have to be organized for the express purpose of stopping a lot of crappy things that are happening in this country. We do not have anything in place for what is called this, what is happening now with these migrants. There's nothing in the Constitution that speaks to that. In fact, the ending of that was of July of 1974, having to do with British subjects who were in the Bahamas. That's been going a long time. There's been no change in the law or a referendum to allow for this, what is going on right now. So we have to look at these things objectively as they are. I believe we have a call on the line. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, yes, good afternoon, Brother Thompson. Good
afternoon.
Yes,
How are you?
I can't recall his name.
Mr. Hyler.
Oh, good afternoon, Mr. Hyler. How you doing, sir?
Good day. Good day. Thank you very much. I'm well.
All right, all right. I was sitting back listening to the conversation today. Oh, I just want to say good afternoon to the brother in Freeport too, who called after me yesterday. Just if he's listening, I just want to say respect to you, my brother.
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Hyler asked about the lawyers and where are they, etc. I mean, I had asked that question before on the radio.
Yes.
You know, I mean, if you have anyone down here who loves the law. And I also asked too, like, what happened to the individuals who like former politicians or former political candidates who used to be running for the best interest of the country? I mean, like, you don't even hear from them. Anytime you see them as political season when it's a chance for them to get in the house. Otherwise, they just minding their own business. And it seems as if they don't really care about the real interest of the country. I wonder, you know what I mean? There's no one who actually speaks out with any significance, you know, to the problems that we face or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Even I won't talk about that. That's a different thing. But you're always talking about like best interests and stuff like that, and
Yes.
and whose interest the people have, etc. Right?
Yes.
And yesterday, I wanted to make a point that I didn't get a chance to make, and the point I wanted to make yesterday was that I recently learned that it is okay, it is legal, it is lawful for our political parties to receive donations from international sources. Right now, I think that's a very dangerous thing because that
Who
gets
said that is lawful?
I didn't hear you, sir.
Who said that is lawful?
Mr. Lang said it's lawful.
Is that
So,
in the
and the
law?
thing about it is that that's very dangerous because
Okay.
that could be one of the reasons why they don't have our best interest at heart. You know, because
Okay.
then they have the interest of somebody else who has donated to their campaign, and we know how campaign financing go. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Okay. So they don't have to report anything to the Bahamian people. That's what you're saying.
Well, I mean, that's something that you probably could answer for us, Brother Thompson. I mean, I've never heard about it, but you know, you're older than I am, and you should have a better understanding of the political process. I've never
Okay.
heard it before. Like I said before, I just
All right.
learned the other day that they were able to even receive those international contributions because I feel as if that's ridiculous because I could
Okay.
be someone living in Timbuktu,
Yes.
right? And I could be a billionaire. You know what I mean? I could have $20 billion.
Okay.
Right? I could come down here and I could take over Nassau. You understand where I'm coming from? Because of the amount of money that I'm able to contribute. You know, the kind of way that the quid pro quo, and that would be a very serious thing as this next. So I mean, I don't understand how in the world we could allow that. So I feel as if what we could do, right, as a public,
Yes.
right, is, and I'm willing to even write it or even take part. We could write a petition or we could write some type of legislation, some type of thing, and we could put it to the government that they at least stop that. I mean, like that's just one thing that we could do, right?
Okay.
And we could demand that they make such contributions illegal
Yes.
because that is absolutely ridiculous. You know, the kind of way, because what interest would an individual have in the political process down here that they would want to contribute money, you know what I mean, trying to be foreigners somewhere have our best interests at heart, that they'll give free money to our politicians for nothing in return. You know, so I mean, like I said before, I feel as if that can, and furthermore, I feel as if we kind of need to take the money out of the whole political process. You know, because then it makes it difficult for an individual who might really make a good leader to compete financially on the campaign trail with other leaders. And Cleaver Duncombe had called in to Mr. Lang show one day, and he was talking about how they need to have live debates. And I agree with that. He said we can that way we can get an idea, and individuals who doesn't have the financial back end to compete with certain candidates can show on stage though that they have better ideas and they had the people's best interest at heart. You know, but like I said, one thing we definitely could do, Brother Thompson, is we could we need to do that, because like I say, you surprise, come like you even surprised with international contributions too. So we could get on that right now if we are serious, right? And we could put together some type of document, right? And we could get the public to get on board, because I'm certain that any right-thinking Bahamian would support it, right? And we could see what our government dealing with, because like I said, that is absolutely ridiculous, and that is a very dangerous thing, right? And furthermore, that I heard I heard too on one of the Mr. Lang show, when he was talking about Goldman Sachs refinancing some loan or something that dealing with the Bahamas government, in terms of it showing the world that we are still viable, that it was a good thing, right? And he and the caller was talking, and he got to a point where he was saying that something that the loans might have to start to be collateralized, meaning that the government will have to back loans with collateral. And he started to say how certain persons who were lending money will be like, well, you have that cooperation over there, you have this over there, we could, you know what I mean, like that. So I want to know how, if we could find out if any of our assets are under collateral loan, you know, if we are in jeopardy of losing certain assets because our government took out loans and they fault on the loans. You know what I mean? I want to know if even the PPL is involved in that process. And furthermore, Brother Thompson, I mean, I know you remember me asking you the question about whether it was constitutional for them to sell off our essential services, right?
Yes, you did, yeah.
And I listened to a program that the gentleman was talking about, and he was describing how they created all these subsidiary companies. Yes. And I even listened to Mr. Lang, and he was talking about it too. And it seems as if that is exactly what they did and how they did it. And it is vexing, Mr. Thompson. I hope you can understand the point I'm trying to bring to you. It is vexing to know that we elect these individuals to look out for our best interest, right, sir?
Yes.
And it seems as if the only laws and legislation that they sat down and really like spend time trying to figure out all the loopholes and trying to figure out how they could do this and how they could do that, is to take from us our telephone and our electrical company by creating all of those subsidiary companies, but still leaving the original companies as the main company, because BEC and Patelco still exist. You understand? They still exist. See? So but they had to work around the law and create all of these other things down underneath so they could pass on certain elements of these companies that generate the funds to these other things, and but the thing's still there. And you see, but you cannot look at any government who has been in power and present one legislation that benefits us that they spend any amount of time working on. As a matter of fact, I don't believe you could even present one legislation, period, that you can say was strictly for the benefit of the Bahamian people and not some avenue to another taxation.
Okay, thank you for your
You understand where I'm coming from? But one last thing, Brother Thompson. We need like you were saying something about, we talking about certain issues over and over again, right, Brother Thompson? And what would do us good as a people, Brother Thompson, is to face reality, man, right? Because I hate it how we as black people now, right? We black people, just like Haitian people, Jamaican people, we all are Africans. But then we seem, as black Bahamians, we seem to have like this type of revisionist, like type amnesia type history, where when we talk about, we need to know our history, but then when we talk like that, we're only talking about Bahamas. as if we as black people grow up as slaves. You know what I mean? Like when we talk about our history, we didn't know history. We don't be talking about our African history and see if we did that.
Okay.
And if hold on, and if we appreciated where we came from, Brother Thompson, then we would not have this problem we have with Haitians, because it is the only issue. It is the only issue.
Thank you for your contribution. He's taking too long to get to a point. We have another call on the line. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Thompson.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Yeah. Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
What was so repulsive just now, right?
Yes.
As if lying is some benchmark for knowledge and understanding. I mean, Michael is my boy, right? But he only wasting their time on the show talking about what Lang say or what Lang, like he's some god of knowledge. Lang still running right now. I would never listen to that foolishness. And you are the Carmichael. Carmichael know what he's doing, man. He's talking about illegal migration and stuff. Talk about that. Lang ain't down with that. And Carmichael ain't down with that. He wasting the show time, Mr. Thompson. Have a nice day.
Thank you for your contribution, Brother Hyla.
Powerful.
The thing is that, we get all mixed up into what this one say and that one say. And while
Yes.
I wanted to be as kind and understanding to the call, I think it was taking too long to get to the point that he ought to make. The point is that we have a constitution. We have persons who have been elected to run this country that are not constitutionally sound. We know that. It is the duty of the Bahamian people to take the necessary action, and they can do it. The question is, are we prepared to take the necessary constitutional action that is essential to save our country?
Mm-hmm.
Because we have what it takes. See, I keep saying to people, it isn't as if we don't have any hope,
Mm-hmm.
We have hope.
Mm-hmm.
We have the tools to work with,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to bring change. The same way you could keep voting in the same people,
Right.
to keep doing nonsense all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Why then are you not thinking differently? To say, here is a major problem, here is something that we need to do to bring change in our country. We get all mixed up with what this one say, what that one say, what the
Mhm.
next one say, but we don't say what the Constitution says.
Right.
That is where we go wrong. Bro, go ahead, Brother Hyla.
It comes down to an action plan,
Yes.
or you could say plan of action, same thing. I believe the public wants to know, well, what can I do?
Yes.
That's one side of it. The other side of it, because we've brought it up before,
Yes.
who do you trust?
That's a good question.
Because people come forward and say, hey, come this way, let's do something.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, are you really interested in the well-being of the people? Or
Exactly.
is it a personal
thing
for you?
That is correct.
So once people have the confidence that, well, this group is acting in our best interest.
But here, I've heard someone say, let us try a different group of people. This is a problem we have in this country. We have been trying these political parties
Right.
for more than half a century.
Right.
The Bahamian people have voted in a way where they gave landslide seats to a particular political party.
Right.
Another party got another landslide of seats.
Right.
You've tried both of them
Yes.
more than once, more than twice,
Multiple,
more than
yes.
3 times,
Yes.
and you get the same results. So what does that tell you? When you give one particular political party, when you put
Right.
that trust and that confidence in that one particular political party,
Right.
by giving them this massive landslide of seats,
Yes.
at one time they got 35 out of 39.
Right.
The next time they got 32 out of 39. What
Right.
does that tell
Right.
you?
Right.
This overwhelming number of seats given
Right.
to a group of people who the Bahamian people trusted to do their business.
Right.
And when we look at the facts as they are, we're not getting anywhere like that. So what is
No.
what are we supposed to do there? See, that is the question we need to ask ourselves.
Mhm.
Look at what we're doing to ourselves
Yeah.
by choosing
Mhm.
personalities
Mhm.
who prove to
Right.
be lacking in so many different things,
Right.
but yet we have given them this power and authority
Right.
for the last almost 51 years.
Well, the people did not understand that you could change the man or the leader but you still have a party agenda.
Yes.
I don't believe the people understood that, you know.
Mhm.
See, they thought that they were voting out a particular man that they finally figured was not operating to the best of his potential or their interest, in their
Right.
best interest. So now what we have is give the next one a chance. You know, Minute's gone, give Pintard a chance. Well, doesn't the party have an agenda? Doesn't the party have a source of financing? Don't they have a philosophy as a party? Even if they fight amongst themselves, don't they keep us going in the same direction? Don't they do the same thing? You see Mr. Pintard right there? Mr. Pintard right now could be leading the charge by saying, we need freedom of information.
Yes.
Not for the FNM, because he keeps referring to it. Oh, we don't have access to what the PLP is doing because we don't have the freedom of information.
Okay.
They didn't fully enact it. But what did you do when you were leader of business in the House? When you were in power under Minnis, you still did not bring forward or table. Anybody can anyone can put a bill forward.
Yes.
Anyone can draft a bill for an act.
Yes.
And then look for somebody else to second it.
Yes.
But what did you do? And what are you going to do when you get, why don't you come with a drafted Freedom of Information Act, fully enacted and ready to go on day one? Why don't you come with that instead of all this other false pretense of opposition, this false opposition? Why don't you oppose the U.S. bringing individuals to the Bahamas?
Now that's important.
Why don't you oppose that since you're the official opposition?
Yeah, he is.
You know, I happen to be a part of the unofficial opposition.
Yeah.
But to Sydney, you know, I don't push party. You know, I push the principle.
It is a national issue.
It's a national issue, and that's what we
ought to be concerned about.
That's
we need
the bottom
to have
line.
People who are concerned
Yes.
about these issues that are holding us back as a nation.
Well, I'm very disturbed that I came here today to let you and the Bahamian people know that the U.S. government is conducting multiple operations over the last 7 days in this report that is put out in Florida by Channel 7 News, WSVN. It's put out by the New York Post out of New York City.
Yeah.
It is even reported by the Jamaica Observer that the U.S. Coast Guard has multiple operations and they are repatriating persons to the Bahamas as well as Haiti. Why is this not in the news? I went to the Guardian to ask. I went to the Tribune to ask.
Yeah.
They haven't had a chance to fully respond yet. But I assure you, Sir Sydney, God spare life. If the Lord should tarry, when Monday comes, should I be alive? Should we be alive?
Yes.
Action needs to be taken. Questions need to be asked.
Yes.
You know?
This is why I'm saying that the Bahamian people have to be awake as to what's going on in the country.
Yes.
All right. And these are national issues that affect our lives.
While we sleeping, Professor?
While we're sleeping, yes. That's what's happening.
While we sleeping?
Yes.
The numbers increasing.
The numbers are increasing, and we don't seem to have our media people on the ball to deal with these issues, whereas we have to wait, or at least it appears to be that we have to wait for some foreign entity to make that announcement, to put that out there before the Bahamian people are informed. See, we're dropping down on our national commitments as a media.
Well, I'm prepared to put on a journalist cap for a while if I have to.
Yes, sir.
To report to the Bahamian people. This hurt me. This is personal. To all of it. I believe, you know, this is hurtful.
Yeah.
You know, the U.S. policy. Let me read from it again. They don't want one foreigner to come to their border. They don't want anyone, but they want us to absorb everyone.
We cannot.
See here? The code. I'm reading from a report, ladies, gentlemen, and children, and expats. The Coast Guard, we're talking about the U.S. Coast Guard and its Homeland Security Task Force will continue to patrol by land, air, and sea to rescue and repatriate anyone attempting to enter the U.S. unlawfully by sea.
Yeah.
They have to leave. And this report is saying that they returned over 300 migrants
Yes.
to the Bahamas and Haiti. And this is only one trip, one exercise, and they conducted multiple exercises over the last 7 days. Wholesale, large numbers. They bringing them out of the U.S. and saying, you all go to the Bahamas.
Multiply 7 by 300, you get 2,100 right off the top.
That's just for this month.
That's just for this month, yeah. Or for those 7 days.
Or for the 7 days, really.
Yes, yes.
For the 7 days.
Yes.
And we are not paying attention to the Haitian consulate who reported to us, documented. They have 150,000.
That was reported, yes. That is the case.
150,000 documented. And we heard in our House of Assembly that there are 300,000 applications in.
Yes.
Now that may be all nationalities. So simple math. You take the 150,000 and add the 300,000, that sounds like 450,000.
That's the way it would seem. Yes.
450,000. That ain't who here now. That's not undocumented, you know.
Yes.
That's just the old and the new. That's not the middle section. You may have another 450,000 there. I'm not just throwing numbers out there, Professor. These are numbers that have been reported.
Yes.
What are we doing? What are we doing? We can bust at the seams.
We will at some point if it's not stopped.
And no other country in the Caribbean has the same, is behaving like we are.
No, we're not.
Has our policy.
Yes.
The U.S. is saying let none come in, and the Bahamas is saying let them all come in. I is you and you is me.
So are we saying the Bahamas government is accepting all of these people? Is that what the understanding is?
That's our reality.
Or are they dropping them off anywhere in the Bahamas? What is the U.S. Coast Guard doing?
We don't even know where they're taking them.
Okay then. All right.
So I challenge all the reporters, find where they taking them, Professor. Are they this thought just came to me. Are they meeting at sea in Bahamian waters? Are they giving them to, because we're not hearing about any repatriation exercises in the Bahamas. So that's
receiving.
I really don't want to speculate, Professor, but my imagination is saying to me that if they receive them at sea, they probably just give them a ride right here to Nassau and just let them off. Or is the U.S. Coast Guard landing on Bahamian soil and allowing persons to disembark because they have some document or piece of paper that says, I am a Bahamian? Do they even speak English? It's so many questions.
It's a lot of questions.
Have they ever set foot on Bahamian soil before?
These things are supposed to be properly conducted, not at the women's fancy for particular personality.
No.
All right. And that's where the danger comes in, because
Right.
based on that report that is published out there
In
it is
Florida,
Florida,
in New York, in
and
Jamaica, and beyond.
and beyond, yeah. It puts,
Everywhere except inside the Bahamas.
well, we don't know of anything being reported.
I haven't heard anything.
No,
I
it
gave
isn't.
everybody the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
I went to the newspapers, both of them, to find out what's
Major
going on.
newspapers, Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't know anything about that, where they're being received or who's receiving them on behalf.
Yes.
If that is to be the case.
If
or
that is
they're
to be
just
the case.
dropping them off
And
somewhere.
Like I hope you don't mind me saying, like Shanique Miller would say, allegedly, reportedly. I like.
Well, you read the report.
I read the report.
It is not alleged. You're saying it has reported.
It has
that.
been reported. This is in the public domain.
That's in the public domain.
Yes.
Once it's in the public domain, you can speak to it.
Yes, and
There's no allegation there.
No. And persons like
It's
Yuri,
just that
Kemp and Shaniqua. I'm going to send information on to them, but I brought it to you first.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Brought it to Global first.
Yes, the point is that we know
Mhm.
that the report is out there.
Yes.
And how that's going to affect the Bahamas is another thing, because we have to look at that very, very seriously. And this is where it takes the collective will of our people. We got to get on our representatives.
Mhm.
We have to get on the government of the Bahamas, because that is what the Bahamian people see. If a government is not doing its job as it ought to,
Mhm.
then it is the duty of the people
Right.
to correct that government.
Mhm.
We just can't keep sitting back and say, oh, we're going to give them a little bit more time. Time is running out.
Time is running out. And time to
Okay?
do what?
And yeah, that's a good question.
See-
Time to do
See,
what?
in the case of BPL, let me just in case everybody doesn't fully understand, the deal with BPL that is being proposed is a management and maintenance deal. Management and maintenance. We are giving them the lamp poles. This was in the news, and the wires, and the substations, the generators. We are giving them over the physical asset. That's their pay, so they could manage it.
Wait a minute now. Let me see if I understand you. They're getting this free then.
Yeah, they're getting it free.
They're not paying any money. The 60% that they have.
No. They getting the money from us.
What kind of nonsense is this? I believe we have a call.
They raising the money from us
Okay.
so they could buy our things and don't give us no money.
Well, what kind of crap is that? Caller, you live on air. Go ahead,
Yes, sir, Mr. Thompson. Alan Hoppin a few months back. I wondering what's going on.
Yes,
we have a lot of illegals on the Family Island. I won't speak about the Keys and local government. I see some of their buildings closed down.
Yes,
And just the other day, I was like, "What's going on here?" I mean, and no one is saying anything, and
No
I'm
one is
like,
saying
"What's
anything.
going on?"
So this report is even more disturbing. That you see all of this movement of people throughout the Family Islands. No report has been coming in from the government. You just see a bunch of people on your island. How did they get there? Who is bringing them
Well,
there?
I can barely hear you, but the Family Island is in a terrible state right now. I mean,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know why the reports is not coming in, but if anyone goes down there, they can see for themselves what's happening. Because you have the people walking up and down the street like, "Hey, I live here.
Yes,
No one
ma'am.
could touch me. No one could do this or no one could do that." So
Yes, ma'am.
somebody needs to start talking or start some action
Explaining
taking
some
place.
action. Yes,
Because
ma'am.
this is ridiculous. I mean, in the Keys as well. You check
Yes.
the Keys out.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
That's even worse.
And they leaving here and they going elsewhere. They going on the boats. No one paying attention and saying, "Well, let me see some ID." They just, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yes, ma'am.
And caller, apparently some are coming with Bahamian documentation.
Well, I don't know, boy, because local government like at a standstill,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
everybody else who's in charge keeping their mouth shut.
Okay.
So we can't just talk. Something needs to be done.
No, something needs to be done. I agree with you.
Definitely.
I agree with you 100%. And that's
Definitely.
what we're going to be working on. Something needs to be done.
Yes.
And that's why I'm saying thank you very much for your call.
Thank you
caller.
very much.
Thank you very
And
much.
look out, please tune in and ask others to tune in
Yeah.
to express yourself daily
Yes.
from 2 to 4. Please ask others to tune in, and you can look out for a poll to be taken. We have to poll and see what the Bahamian people are thinking.
That
But
is
thank you
right.
for your
But
call.
Thanks for your contribution. That is very good indeed. I believe we have another call on the line, Mr. Producer.
But we do have some comments.
Oh yes, we were supposed to deal with those comments from Facebook.
Yeah.
Mr. Bruce, we have another caller. We do or we don't?
We
said we don't.
we have
Okay.
some comments.
Yeah. Okay. Let's deal with those comments.
One person says here, the organic citizens that want change can change what's happening in the country. They can change it.
Of course they can. Yes.
And he says, Pintard hasn't tabled one bill on behalf of the Bahamian people.
Okay.
Another comment says, when the Haitians are found in international waters by the U.S. Coast Guard, they present themselves as Bahamians and they are brought to the Bahamas. They don't want any black person in there. Well, he used the word Sodom there, but they don't want anyone there, but they want our little nation to take on these illegals, and nothing said. They're welcome here with open arms. Who's at fault? And it says us. We are pitiful people, and don't fight me on the truth.
Well,
that's a female that said that.
That said that. Okay, all right. She's entitled to her view, but the Prime Minister said that we cannot take on any of this.
One other comment very quickly, because I would right here. See, to my understanding, the U.S. closed their borders to any migrants claiming asylum last week. Okay. And this is per Biden's orders. They're bringing the migrants to the Bahamas, probably because they got the okay to do so by our government.
Well, that's speculation there. We're not sure of that.
Yeah, we're not sure.
Yeah, we're not sure. That's speculation. Yeah. Okay. We're going to have to go to a break now because I hear the music in the background. We'll go to this break, Bahamians. We'll be back after the break.
Street to Blue Hill Road. It's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
We're back. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. Bahamians, it's a great day to be in the Commonwealth Bahamas. My special guest, Mr. Dwayne Hiley, is with me today. And Bahamians, we have to look at ourselves and make some sound decisions and some good judgments. we have too many problems that are just festering in the country, and we seem not to be able to make any clear decision as to which direction we're going to go and which one we should handle the most. I believe the most pressing problem, the most urgent problem in our country is immigration and citizenship. There are those who want to be naturalized. We have hundreds, if not thousands, who are applying to be naturalized. There is no room in the Constitution for naturalization. That ended July of 1974. And the Constitution has not been updated for any naturalization. That was for British subjects who were here in the country. I believe you have a caller, Mr. Producer. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good afternoon, Professor MacArthur Walker.
Hey, where you been hiding yourself? Where you been hiding
Number
yourself?
7 here.
Huh? I know you're number 7. Where you been hiding?
You're very low. Very low. You're
Mr.
coming
Producer,
across
could you give me
very
a little
low.
more volume? Because my...
Pardon me?
No, I was talking to my producer. Can you hear me now, caller?
Yeah, you get to turn you up, but I'll speak.
Yeah, go ahead then.
For too long, my grandmother always tell me,
yes,
a
sir.
house divided against itself cannot stand.
That is true.
That's simple. For too long, Bahamians have been doing what you, I, your guests have been doing, but we've been doing it from our own little corner of the Bahamas.
Yes.
You always say, Professor, Article 24(1).
That's correct.
Bahamians need to galvanize and come together in order to make one force, one unit, one force. Solidarity. We need to come together.
Yes.
All of us of like minds. Now, I want to leave my number for your guests to call me because we have decided, the Patriots, to do just such thing in terms of galvanizing everybody of like minds, and we're going to do something early in the new year. So I'd like for him to take my number so he can contact me and we'll brief him as to what all of us as Bahamians need to do.
Okay, Mr. Producer, you want to take his number? Why don't you leave your number with the producer?
I can leave my number open. If he got a pen, he can take it down now.
Okay then, all right, if you want to do it that way. Go ahead.
565
Yes.
09
Yes.
31. That's Patriot number 7.
Okay.
Everybody's going to be on board, including the FNM and the PLP. They got to come together. But we have to do this.
I'll call that number again, please, Mr. Number 7.
565 09 31.
Okay,
Number
got it.
7.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Thank you very
Patriot
much.
number 7. Thank you very much.
We'll talk soon. Listen.
Well, yeah, go ahead, Mr.
I just wanted to say quickly, very much appreciated Patriot number 7. Now we need the numbers to get up. We need Patriot number 8, 9, 10. We need Patriot number 700, Patriot number 7,000. Bahamians, on a serious note.
No, what I think he's talking about is the original 7.
Well, I know the original 7 Patriots.
Yeah, but no,
But you all need more support.
No, we do need the support.
Yeah,
but
you
there are
need
some
more
things,
support.
of course, that have to be worked on.
Yeah.
There are some matters. I won't get into it at this point in time because it's not the appropriate time.
Understood.
But some matters are being done. I understand what he is saying when he said Patriot number 7.
Understood.
Okay. There were the 7 original Patriots who went and took the action that was essential to deal with the issue of immigration and citizenship. That is the major problem in this country.
We needed it today.
We need that today.
We need that today.
So I'm not going to disagree with him
Yes.
on what he is saying. The Bahamian people need to be galvanized. And I always quote Article 24(1). He's correct on that. All right? It's the Bahamian people to be galvanized around the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That is what we need to do. We have been in our little silos, and he's correct on that. You speak in your little corner, that one speak in their little corner, that one say this, and that one say, no. That can't work anymore.
Right.
It has to be a unified effort by Bahamians collectively for the salvation of your country. The Constitution always spoke to that.
Understood.
And I always said that it is the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas that can unify the Bahamian people. Okay, now we've had all these little things, this little paper, that little paper, this little group, that little group. That's not going to work at all. Although the Constitution allows for people, and let me make this very clear, the Constitution allows for people to be, like I always talk about St. Barnabas Church, you remember St. Barnabas Church, but you work the BTC. And then you may also be a member of the PTA school. But that's one person doing three different functions.
Understood.
Now, in the Bahamas, there's one nation.
Right.
And everyone in the nation ought to be Bahamian.
Right.
Unified for the cause of the nation itself, the salvation of the nation. That's what we are to be about. We haven't reached that point yet, but we have to unify to get to that point where you have the overwhelming majority of your people
Right.
going in that direction for the salvation of this country.
Understood.
That's what's important.
Understood.
Go ahead.
You have a
We
caller?
have a caller? I didn't
we
hear.
have a caller,
Mr. Producer, we have a caller. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Thompson.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Thompson, I called back, but how y'all didn't mention, or I didn't even never seen the paper, right? Do you realize that the Russians are here? They're
Oh, yes,
conducting-
I understand today. I don't have too much information on it.
But the government, I mean, is in the U.S. papers and everything, and it's high. When your guest mentioned the U.S. Coast Guard, right?
Yes.
On high alert, right? I know you're going to finish it and say on high alert because they were tracking those assets from Russia.
From Russia.
Yes.
So,
And definitely
as you understand it, where are they now? Where are these?
they're in Cuba.
They
And
are
that's
in
right
Cuban
now,
waters?
back door.
Are they in
Yeah,
Cuban
80
waters?
miles from Miami.
Pardon?
80 miles from Miami, he's saying.
You know,
80
I mean,
miles from Miami. Okay.
yeah,
all
you
right.
know, and you know, and the U.S. military is at high alert.
Yes.
Our government, I blame it Fred Mitchell, man.
But the
Fred
government of
Mitchell.
Bahamas hasn't made any comment on it.
No, you know, and the Guardian, the Tribune, like the press has been bought out as it like when
I haven't heard
as it-
anything from the press either. But let me just ask you this. You say they are in Cuban waters now, as you understand it?
They've been in Cuban waters from the 12th.
The 12th, okay.
They'd be there for 1 week. But you know what's ironic, Mr. Thompson, right?
Yes, sir.
Remember last week when I spoke with you, right? When we talked about the Haitian situation and persons who are in diaspora, who are like in America and elsewhere, who are saying what they who they don't want in their country.
Yes, that
and
is
they don't
true.
want
They
the
didn't want-
Kenya Fort,
Yes.
the Bahamas, and
Say they
all
can handle it
whoever
themselves.
the Dingy and whoever them people. What is something that's been mean, right? But remember I told you that the Haitian woman said this one of those ones who are away, who knows everything. Some teacher, some lecture, some college, right?
Yeah.
And she said, you know what? They don't want nothing to do with no America. They don't want nothing to do with no the peacekeeping force. They don't want them in their country. They regard them as the enemy when they hit their soil. They you know, it's like the invaders, right? But you know what? She specifically said that, you know, we rather have Russia or China. And you know what?
Russia
It's
or
like
China,
we got to put things together and wake up, you know.
Yeah.
We bring in these people up in our country, and Fred Mitchell and whoever else who was doing it in secret, and the media cover up. You know, they need to stop it because guess what? As your guest said, in America, they're kicking everybody out.
Yeah.
Not just America, in England, in Europe, everywhere. People don't want no aliens in their country who they don't know, who are doing all kind of things contrary.
Right.
And,
Right.
you know what? Even right down to Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic, you know, their president say, Cole, you know what? We are helping. We are doing. We can't help. What do you expect us to do? There's nothing else we can do.
Right.
We have done all and we're still helping. Our market is open for them to get food and everything, but only so much we can do.
Right.
But the Bahamas government, I guess it's a dawn with a wicked crown because guess what? The Bahamas government, he never put, I mean, Grace said, you know, we can't accept no more, right? You need to words only you speak.
Exactly.
But actions speak louder than words, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
You know, and you know what? They ain't making no effort. They look in the papers today. You got them Clay Sweden saying them we got the next must be 40 shanty town or 10 shanty town be fine, and we got this and that in the papers, and you know what? For all the shanty town where they already break down, right? And nobody get going back to where they come from. What kind of nonsense is
No
that?
one has been deported. That's correct.
What kind of like be retarded or something? I mean, what is something? The very place where people running from and saying, you know, we can't. Oh, the people shooting us and this and that. You know what? It's a setup, and you're going into that trap.
Yeah.
That people know what they're doing. Their whole from inception. It's always been excuses. Oh, we have this happen. We got to run out here. Oh, we have that happen. Oh, some of this and that. We got to run. You know what? You can't run from yourself.
No.
Asians need to wake up. You could run. You could hide, but you can't run from yourself. What they need to do is try to just unify as a people. Because you know what? They're the squad. They spread everywhere, and you know what? Looking at other people in their country. Oh, you don't like Haitian, eh? No, we don't like corruption. We don't. When we break the law and think it is penalty, ain't no penalty for them.
Okay.
Let's keep it real, man.
Yeah.
Ain't like hating people, you know, it's about principles.
Okay,
And this country ain't much principle.
Well, thank you for your contribution. Thank you very much. Okay, and he made some
very
interesting
strong
point, very
Yes.
strong point.
And very heartfelt.
Yes, but we're not hearing from the government of the Bahamas.
No, you know,
about repatriations of illegal aliens.
Right.
I heard about the breaking down of shanty towns.
Right.
The minister Clay Sweeting has not said anything about the repatriation
exercises. Yes.
Illegal aliens found in these shanty towns.
Well, clearly that's not their intention.
But that is not happening.
Clearly, because it's not happening.
It is not happening.
And you know, the caller. I mean, when we talk about, Mr. Mitchell is a very vocal person, but he's so quiet on this. Mr. Fred Mitchell is very quiet on these occurrences.
Yes.
Not a word said, mumbles the word. Mr. Wayne Monroe is quiet. You know, I know we tried it, you know, it's not about, you know what? Let me practice not even calling the name, because it's not about that. It's really not about that. The national security minister, let me just leave it there. Whoever happens to be in that seat, it's not securing our borders. And the people, I mean, no one should have to incite the people. And that's not even what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to incite anybody. I'm trying to make people aware. That's my view. Dwayne Hyler is about awareness and truth.
Yes.
And integrity. This is what the fight is, because we are in a fight.
We're in a big fight. That's quite right.
Things are declining. They're getting worse. We just don't realize it could get worse than it is now.
That's a possibility, yes.
Yeah.
That's quite right.
How could it not get any worse? The U.S. is on high alert, and we on low alert.
I believe we have another caller on the line. Caller, you're live on air. Go ahead, please.
Brother Thompson.
Hey, what's happening, man?
Boy, yeah, I just...
You just got through it.
Oh, trying to look handsome for Father's Day.
Oh, okay.
But listen to me.
Let me wish you a happy Father's Day.
Hyler,
Good day, sir.
happy Father's Day. If you are, I believe
Yes,
you are
I'm a father. Thank you very
Well,
much.
I know, Mr. Thompson has all kind of little, what do you call them?
Pigeons.
They're pigeons. Plenty pigeons.
Yeah.
Pigeon, what you call it?
Happy Father's Day to all the Bahamian fathers.
Yes, sir. Yes,
These
sir.
are the young people.
And non-Bahamian, all the fathers.
Yes, but
Yes.
you said something,
Mhm.
Mr. Thompson. I caught the last part when you're saying about Mr. Sweeting, Clay Sweeting is not saying nothing about the repatriation.
No, he hasn't said
But that's
anything
not
like
his
that.
job. His job is to break down the shanty town. That's the minister.
So when you
of
break down the shanty
Immigration
towns,
job.
hold on now. When you say you're breaking down the shanty towns, what are you doing with these people who are here illegally?
Yeah, where are they
I
going?
hear you.
When you break down the shanty towns,
Yeah.
where are these people going?
But if it's a shanty town, by number one, they commit a crime, so they should go to jail.
So they ain't getting punished, right? You see them
They do
going
what?
to jail? You see them going to jail?
But they should go to jail.
They should be arrested and put in the cell. He's
I
not
had
doing
an
that.
uncle. He had a beautiful home, and
Yes.
he put up a wall
Yes.
in the front of his house.
Uh-huh.
And you know, he had to break it down.
You had to break it down.
Because he didn't get a permit to put a wall in his own yard.
Right.
He didn't put it on the side of the road on the government road.
Not on the government road, but on his
He
own
put it in his
property.
yard.
So you see the many violations that these people are committing against the Bahamian people, and the government department is just acting like it's not important.
Well, I think we're going to see some strange things, after September 16th. We'll have about two more years before a general election.
Why should we have to wait till then?
No, I'm just saying.
That's your view. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
all
gonna
right.
see
Let
some
me
things
withdraw the
happen.
remark then. I take it back.
Yeah, we're going to see some things happening.
I'm curious about how many Bahamians feel like maybe we need to go to early election. Like, I'm just curious.
But let me ask you something in closing.
Mhm.
How many shanty towns you think is in Angleston?
That's a good question. That's
Not
a
a
good
one.
question. Yes.
You know who we blame? We, the Bahamian people who own them little houses, when we move, we rent them out.
Yes.
Okay, you have to blame us. You can't blame them. Because if you someplace and you can't find no places, no shelter, you can't find no work, you can't find no food, you're not staying there.
Okay.
Check Long Island. Okay?
Yeah.
Check it out.
Understood.
Check Black Point Exuma. They might give you some water and give you some food and so you can continue your journey.
Okay.
Let's look at it, man. Not a
Yeah.
shanty town in Angleston.
No.
But Angleston has more Haitians than anywhere in Nassau. Check it out.
So you're saying no shanty towns in Angleston? Is that
No,
what you
sir.
say?
All of them houses are registered houses. So the Bahamian people move out of them. See, if they rent it to them, they don't have to worry about putting in no toilet. They don't have to worry about putting in no running water. They ain't got to worry about nothing. You think they can rent me house like that?
This is happening as you understand it in Angleston.
It's alleged.
Oh, okay,
It is
okay,
alleged.
all right.
It
fair
is
enough.
alleged.
It is reported that. Okay,
Yes.
fair enough. All right, I accept that.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay, I accept
Think
that.
about it. And I want you gentlemen, enjoy your Sunday, man.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you very
Enjoy
much.
your
Appreciate
Sunday,
that.
'cause
Thank
I
you.
can enjoy mine.
Thank
Yeah,
you
but
very much.
I'm glad
Yes,
you
sir.
called, and happy Father's Day to you as well.
Happy
Yes,
Father's
sir,
Day.
Tom. Yes,
Happy
sir,
Yes,
Father's
sir.
Day.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you. Thank you very much.
You know, Professor,
Yes, sir.
right now while we're on the air, multiple news outlets are reporting that there's been a traffic fatality on Carmichael Road and near Jackfish Drive.
Yes, I heard that
Yes,
several
yes,
times.
right.
earlier
I think
today.
right before we came,
Yeah.
maybe so it's very, very sad.
When this
And,
incident occurred, this one,
no, this is actually they are actually on the scene now, I believe.
the police?
But police are there.
Okay, all right.
But it is an actual traffic fatality. So
Right,
our
okay.
condolences at this time. It is early, but our hearts go out to the family.
Okay.
Of the person involved or that is reportedly passed away with all the wet roads and everything.
Wow. Okay.
So
I know one
Yeah.
that's shaken me up was the
Yes.
one that happened with the lady who was coming out of the car
yeah,
and she was hit. I didn't even
Right,
know that was a
right.
relative of my first cousin,
right. Okay.
the daughter-in-law of my first cousin.
Okay. So
And I still feel very bad about that.
about that.
Yeah, definitely.
So-
Anyhow, give your last words. because I
Yes,
hear
the
music
last
in the
words. Yeah,
background.
we are departing, and unfortunately, we're departing on this note. But global today has brought news forward that we really didn't hear anyone else anywhere else. And as I leave here, I'm actually going back to one of the newspapers right now. The whole idea of the U.S. government repatriating persons to the Bahamas is, I mean, we see what happens on Monday, but this got to stop, man.
No, it
I
has
mean,
to
people,
stop.
we have to step up, man. We have to
We have to
speak
step
up, and because if we don't stop, they're gonna keep doing it, man.
They're going to keep
You
doing
know,
it.
and sorry to have to go out on this note, but we're talking about BPL, Watsilla under Christie, Alstrom under former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram. Hubert Minnis was involved in a situation where the whole board BPL was fired
That
at
is
one
correct.
point,
Yes,
and
that's
it turned into a court case.
Yes.
There was alleged whatever.
Yes.
But in U.S. courts, they reported that bribery was going on, and they put an amount to it. We got to stop learning these things in the foreign news, man.
Yes.
So
Okay.
they paid off our Bahamian officials $300,000. But I gone off there with that one. I was a little disturbed today.
Okay, well, thank you
Yes.
very much, Mr. Hyler. Now, of course, this is Friday, and we hope that there will be a pleasant weekend for Bahamians everywhere.
Yes,
throughout
and
the Commonwealth
fathers.
Government. And fathers, have a happy
Father's Day.
This has been Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. Have a very pleasant weekend. We'll be back on Monday at 2 to 4 p.m. Thank you very much.
Yeah.